Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to all my new subscribers. So I've made this little folio, I guess. I've made it for a swap. I'm going to a craft retreat at the weekend and everybody's making something and we're doing a swap. So I've made this and it's made from one sheet of 12 by 12. I've used Tim Holtz paper and this is what it does. So we open that up. We've got a little pocket here with a little tag there. So I used one full sheet to make the base, and then I used the sheet where you get like the 3x4 little cards, and I used them for journaling cards there. So I added a bit of stamping. That was all that I did. So I've used a few. So there's a bit of stamping there with some Tim Holtz stamps, and I've added a few Tracy labels and some bits of Artie May's ephemera as well, which I sort of had ready made. So that flips out there. We've got a little tuck going on there. Most of these pockets were made with the offcuts. This is a little flip. And there we have another little journaling card. So lots and lots of space to journal, to add photos and memories to it. And then these two flip down, revealing another pocket here. So say these were the 3x4 sheets. So I've used two sheets. I used Tim Holtz. You can use whatever you've got, but it was a 12 by 12 sheet to do the main base. And then here I made a little belly band with another belly band, so got that there, and then underneath I just did a little fold out with some graph paper, which I thought went really well with this Tim Holtz paper. And one of the reasons for me using my Tim Holtz, excuse my mucky hands, I've been busy, was that I got a pad last year, and this is the same. I got a pad last year for Christmas, my first ever Tim Holtz, and I loved it, and I stroked it, and every now and again I got it out and had a flip through. And then I had another pad on my wish list. And this one goes up, and I bought that. So that goes like that, and I did the same. Pulled it out, stroked it. I looked at it every now and again, and I did nothing with it. And then another pad came up for sale because it doesn't make them anymore. Here I just added a little notebook there, and here I've got a little scrappy flip one, and it actually comes out, and just used some sort of leftovers there. Yeah, and I wanted a third one, and it was like, you cannot buy another one until you actually make something. That's what I said to myself with what you've already got. So this is what I made. So that is what I'm going to show you how to make today. And it just folds over, and then fold it round. One goes one way, one goes the other, so we can then tie a little bow. So I've got a little template to help, and I'll have that over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk, to help with it, because There's quite a few little score lines, as you can imagine looking at it. So try to make it easy for you to follow. So here we go. So the Tim Holtz paper pad that I used is the memoranda one. I chose this one because it's got more than one sheet of each design, whereas the other one I've got, which is the French Industrial, they're one-offs, and it was like, oh, I can't cut into something that's unique. You know, what if I go wrong? So I'll hold that for a little bit longer. But this, it was like, oh, I've got 2 shots with every one. So so that was what I did. So I used this sheet. So I've now only got one of that left. So I'll use a different one on this one. And you get 12 by 12, you get 6 by 6, and you get ones like this that are 4 by 3. So I used one of these. So we'll get that out because we'll be doing that again. These are the same. There was 4 sheets of this, and they're all the same. All pads don't have that, because my other pad has a different sort of layout. And although these are no longer made, you can get them on from time to time on Amazon. I've seen these 2, and there is a third one, which was what I wanted to get. But by the time I think I might go for that one. By the time I'd sorted myself out and used this, it wasn't available anymore. So it's non-directional, and I'm sort of going to put that on the inside and this on the outside. Yep, so that's what we're going to do, because I want to be able to see these lovely patterns. Because if you look at the finished one, you'll notice that you don't see too much of the inside, but you see an awful lot of the outside. The inside was this sort of floral green thing. So I wanted to see all the lovely sort of bits of ledger and letters and old receipts. So that's why those are gonna go on the outside. So you score on the inside. So let me get my scoreboard ready. You can use a ruler, and you know, it is simpler if you've got a scoreboard. I do have a trimmer that also scores. So now I need my template. So this is my template. I've done quite a bit of writing over it to make it a little bit more user friendly. When I put it on the blog, it will be a little bit tidier than this. So that's the top, that's the bottom. So already when I wrote on it, I put it the wrong way. It's just that is your flap. So we're going to score at 2.5, and then we're going to score at 5.5, and then we're going to score at 5 3/4, Then I'm going to score at 8 3/4. And then I'm going to score at 9. So 2.5, 5.5, 5 3/4, 8 3/4, 9. Then twizzle round, and these ones are simple because you're going to score at 4 and at 8. So that's that bit. Now usually valleys become mountains, so you would now fold back that way. I've done it the other way, but it doesn't matter. We can still make it the other way around. So fold there. We've got a little gusset there. Fold down. These small ones I always find a little bit hard. Because there's only 1/4 inch between them. And this is quite thick, this paper. There we go. And then we'll do these ones. So that is all of our scoring done. And then we're going to do a little bit of cutting. So on the template, all these shaded areas are where we need to cut. So the first thing we're going to cut, it's very easier, it's not really easy to see on either side, is you've got these channels here, and you're going to cut them out, but up to that bit there. So that one and that one, we are cutting those out. I'm going to put my glasses on to make sure that I see this really, really well. So, and because they're scored, you've got a sort of a raised bit, and so what I try and do is cut it so that the raised bit stays on the bit you're cutting away, if that makes sense. Well, I've just cut down there, and that's not even, I can't see, that's not even where I wanted it to be, but never mind. So we'll cut down there. I still wanted to cut that. I'll cut down there, cut that bit off. You can go in and neaten things up afterwards, which I will be doing. I might see better this side, to be fair. So we've got we want to cut away this top bit and this top bit. So I've already cut a bit there, so may as well cut the rest of that off, and these will then be used to make pockets. So that's those two taken out. So we want to now put this extra score line in. So put this up here, and this wants to be 3/8 of an inch. So from there we're going to go 1, 2, 3 and score down there. So all the other sort of gusset bits are 1/4 of an inch. This one is 1/8 of an inch bigger, so that it will fold over the other two when they're folded up. So that is the beginnings of our little folder. So that is how it will all fold up. Now you'll notice that these are slightly bowing, so you have to just take a slight smidge, and you'll see it here, just a slight smidge off the top and the bottom. These are trimmed anyway because that forms our pocket, and then you take a little one off that. That's optional. I've done these before, and so like with this one I didn't take any of it off, I left it full, which I'm going to do again because I like that, gives you another option. But I've done it in the past where I have taken this bit out. So we want to take a little smidge off of these sections, so that we'll be able to close it. So just the tiniest of slivers, that is all that needs to be taken off. So that they will close up neatly. Oh, and don't do that. Just don't do that. I will mend that with some washi tape. No drama. That was me trying to be really quick and efficient, but we'll mend that. We won't worry. And then these, what I did was I took 1 inch off this one, and that gives me a nice little interesting thing going on there. And then we'll take 2 inches off the bottom, and that makes a really nice pocket. That wasn't by design, it's just worked out that way. And that's what I love about this paper. You just don't know what you're going to get. So cut that off there at 2. What a fantastic pocket front that's going to be. So that is so these can fold down now, these can fold up, no obstruction. That's going to form a pocket, and that will be the flap over the top, and then the fold up and do that. So now we've got these bits which we can use to make pockets. We will also be cutting these down, and so some of these will be used as pockets and some will be the journaling card, but that is the main sort of gist of how this is made. You can come in now and neaten up some of these cuts that I did before, and of course every surface needs to be inked, and that one needs to be mended. Take a corner rounder, so I've got a few corners to round, so that's going to be the front cover. So I'm corner rounding that, and yes, so I then corner rounded these bottom bits. You don't have to corner round if you don't want to. I just want to. Yeah, so it's top and bottoms. Yeah, so these, all the tops and bottoms. I rounded the corner. Rounded the corner of this because that makes the pocket flip look nicer. But not that bottom bit, did I? No, you didn't. Left the pocket. It will form a pocket, so I didn't need to do that. There we go. So all of these now need inking, so I'm going to ink those and then come back to you. So before I ink it, I just mending that little rip with some washi tape, adding a bit of glue because I don't trust washi tape, so just covering that little rip, and I'm going to do it on both sides so that it can flap backwards and forwards without any problems. So yeah, no mistakes in crafting. You can mend most things. So the offcuts are used for making pockets. So I have got a diagonal up in that top left and in the bottom right. And I like this little piece here because it's got that typewriter. So we're just going to trim a little bit off because it was slightly long, and then we're just going to do corner to corner and make our diagonal pocket. In that bottom one there, it could go either way, but I don't often do up tuck pockets, so we're going to do an up tuck, and then I just slice that one in half to make the other pockets, and then I realised that wasn't actually what I did, so we'll save that for when I do the belly band later. So that other piece there will fit there nicely, just needs the corners rounding to fit. So that's those pockets, and then I've got other offcuts that I can use for other things. So in order to make the rest of the pockets, I have got to go to the sheet again and use those 3x4s, but the tags that I want aren't quite 3 inches, so I'm going to cut them so that I get the best strip that I can. So just cutting them down the centre there. So I have a strip there that's 1 inch wide, and it's got a section of the two sort of patterns on it, which will be useful for later. And there I'm just cutting one out, just to preserve as much as the rest of the sheet as I can before, so that I don't yet know how I'm going to use it, so I can get the best use. So all these little tags, journaling cards, are all going to have the corners rounded, and they're all going to be inked. And this is what I've got left. So I've got a whole 2 of these 3x4s, and then these little bits of scraps. So not a lot left from your 2 sheets, and we probably be using some of these things as well. So I'm just going to scooch those over there. So I've got, I think I said 7 of these. You need 8. Couldn't count. And I've cut a couple of them in half. Yeah, in half and down to make some pocket fronts. Okay, so I am going to start putting these where I want them to go. So if you can do whatever you want. This is just what I've done. So take the original here. These top 2 we have got. I've rounded the bottom, so I think my intention was that was going to go somewhere else. So I think we might do that one, because it goes quite nicely there with that. It's the same sheet, just smaller. My camera's squiff a little bit. So that can go there. And we have got a triangular one there. That's across the middle. We'll address the notebooks in a sec. And then on these bottom 2, we've got these. We need the round. I needed to round another one, Jez. Just trying to decide which to put there. I think I'll do that one, just to be a little bit different. So I need to just round the corners there on that, so that will go down there. Now you can, I did, you can put little edges on these pockets if you want to as well. I quite like the look of a bit of an edge. Now you can just use some of the odd cuts to be a little edge if that works nicely. Give it a little bit of a border, or you might sit there and go, I don't really need to do that. So I might do this one without. I'm going to change my mind eventually. Because yeah, I probably am going to change my mind, but I'm just going for quickness now because I don't want to be too long. So bead of glue just along the 2 sides, and then that. I'm going to stand up here so I can see. That will fit in there. You want to make sure you can still close, so you want to have a little gap from that there. Okay, just double checking that these are, yeah, they're a good size. So we are going to glue along the three sides to make our pocket there. So these bits, quite quick and easy once they're cut out and put down, and you can do whatever you like. As Tim says, you do you. So you can make different pockets if you would prefer. That's going to get glued down there, but I am going to put something along that pocket because it's screaming out for something to go along the top. So I'm just looking here. It's not long enough, Jez, of what I could use. Oh, that's quite nice. That looks like a bit of a border there. Yeah, liking that. So like it. So I'm just going to snip these off. You get a really good sort of edge that way. Well, you would if you picked it up, Jez, and kind of watched what you were doing. There we go. And then I can just ink the side like that. That's my little pocket there. Done nicely. A couple of little scraps there. Chuck them up there. So let me just put a bit of glue down these sides. And that's that glued in place. And then I held this in place just by using a rounded tab pen. Thought that was a little bit clever. So that just needs to go there, and actually I don't need the whole of it, I just need half of it. So I'm going to put glue just on this bit and then eyeball in the middle. So I'll take that out now just in case it oozes. There we go. That's my clever little closure. So shall we bung one of these in? There you go. I think that looks quite nice in there. Now you might find that some of these are a little bit tight fit, so you know, if you find that, you might feel more comfortable taking a sliver off one of these. There's a pocket, Jez. So stuff that in there, stuff this one in there. It's all very random, and you can choose wherever, whatever. So these are going to go down there in the same way, and then we're going to, on the back here, put these two. No, that one has the other triangular pocket, so that's going to go up like that. So these come down and they have a belly band, which we'll address in a sec. So these come up, we have an upward doodah there, and then that one comes over and we have another pocket there. So that's the pockets. So I'll get these stuck down because you don't need to watch me do that one. So that's all those pockets all stuck down, and I've put cards in with them. So let's have a look at these belly bands. Let's just reduce what you can see. So we're going to put some belly bands on there. So I've done a bit of prep. So remember we had that long strip, however it went, that I had created by cutting my 4x3 sections in such a way that left one strip like that. So I've cut it down into 3 little strips, ready to be a belly band on here. And then we're left with that one, which I'm going to cut in half to make the band in the middle, because it's like a double belly band. In my original one, I used my deckled edge trimmer, but not everybody's got one of those. So I'm just going to use an ordinary trimmer. That's got those sorted. So I just need to ink the edge. So I'm going to stick this to this, and then that to that. So quite simple. I'll just show you the one I'll do the other one off camera. So stick that in there. I'm just eyeballing it ish for the centre. That's come over down a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna come in with some scissors and trim that, because I clearly haven't cut it quite right, but it doesn't matter. There we go. There we are. And then I took, so do you remember that little offcut that I cut that wasn't right, because it was too small for the pocket? I said, oh, I'll use it later. So I've just cut them. They're basically 2-inch squares, and I just rounded the corners and inked them. So that can go on the top there. And then I just had a bit of graph paper that I tea dyed. It's plain on the other side. So I just cut a little square, folded in half, inked, and rounded the corners. It's easy if you put this one in first. So that can poke under there, and that pokes on the top. So let me show you. Had a little rectangle. It's 3 3/4 inches that way by 3 1/8 that way ish. I think the other one was slightly bigger. It was just the offcut that I had on the sheet which made these a little bit smaller, but it was enough. So that's how I made that, and then I inked all the way around it. So I'm going to finish off that other one, and then we'll do the notebooks. So oh, I was forgetting what I was doing then. So that's those two completed, and so now we're on to do the little notebooks here. So this one's quite simple. So some of this graph paper I've got here, I bought this in France on my holidays, and with the intention of tea dyeing and using in journals. So I've just cut that to fit in there really nicely. It is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Obviously it's twice 2 3/4 because I've just folded in half, and so for that to go in there, I am just going to put a little bead of glue down this centre bit here and slip, as you do, and stick that in there. So they're together like so, and then I just wanted a little strip along the edge to make it an edge. So I think I'm going to have to cut into this because actually that will work, won't it? Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. So I'm just going to cut that down to 3 3/4. See, getting through my scraps. Almost going to be a no waste project here. Might be a little bit left over, but that's okay. I've often seen people doing projects with Tim Holtz scraps. I was like, scraps from Tim Holtz, I didn't cut mine up. But there we go. Have now. So that's my little end there. Oh yeah, I like it. And I've actually got a school line there, which I think goes lovely. Makes it look like a proper edge of the book. So I think, oh I did. So when I stick this on, I'll round the corners, but not until it's stuck down. So can't believe I'm using art glitter. I've had it ages, and I bought a humongous bottle, and it's not been my favourite, but I've got a little bit more into it now. So I'm going to refill that, and I'll be taking this on my craft retreat. I'm really excited. Can't believe that I decided lastminute.com that I'd make these few little bits to take with me for swaps and gifts. And of course, like most things I make, I like to video it. So I usually only film in the daytime, so like it's a day job, and I don't usually do much of an evening other than sort of inking edges in front of the telly, or that's usually when I sort of answer comments on my YouTube channel that I think I might be doing a little bit more tonight, but that's what happens when you go away for the weekend, isn't it? And I'm going away early because I'm staying with a mate tomorrow night. There we go. So that's my little notebook there. I think what I'm going to do is put a little bead of glue down that centre as well. Just because that's kind of like the spine, and I didn't want it to move too much. And then we'll put our glue down the edge here. Hold it in place. I could have made this removable like I am the other one, but I didn't, so that's that. There we go. Put that down there. Nice little pad. Marvellous. So this one here, I've got my glasses on and I can't see a thing. Glasses are for close up, not for long distance. I only use long distance when I'm driving. So I just got together 4 little scraps of paper, make a scrappy little notepad there. I love the look of scrappy little notepads. So that was like that. That'll look grand. Yeah, like it. And then we had this nice little bit here, which can either be the bit that folds over, or it's the bit there that holds it in place. Either way, gonna need a bit of this to do one or other of the jobs. I was just looking to see if it had a nice little, that might be quite nice for the top, and it kind of goes with that, so yeah, I might take a bit of that. So folding it over, gonna go about 1.5 inches, and then fold it in half. I think that's what I'm going to do. 1.5 inches, and then fold that over in half. I think that's about cool. So I think that might actually be a scrap left over at the end of all this. Oh no, I haven't finished. I've got to do a little pocket and a tag on the front bit. So that's my little notebook, and then that's going to go over the top like that. I'm going to just take a smidge off that so that it fits. Yeah, perfect, Jez, perfect. Gun around the corners at the bottom here. Because that'll look cool. This is a wee bit too long. I'm going to just take that smidge off the top. Check it's not too long there. It is a little bit, Jess. Just a little bit. Take a slither. Take a slither off. That works lovely. So round those corners. Like so. And then this bit's got to poke down. Plenty of room. Plenty of room. Right. So we obviously need to ink round these little bits. And the grid paper on here is the same grid paper as I've got there, which was sort of why I chose it really. So I don't know what I'm doing. Sort yourself out. There we are. So that's my little notebook. That's going to go over the top. I'm going to move one to one side, one to the other. As we're going to use an eyelet to hold these in place. So I'm going to put a little clip on it. Hold it in place whilst I work on it. I'm going to do a hole there, eyeball to be in the same place there. That's ish. That works for me. And then I'm going to get little eyelets and squeeze them in place. I do love making little notebooks with little eyelets like this for the top. I think they look right good. Proper job. And a bit vintage. There we go. So that is as easy as that. And then what I did was I kind of laid that there like that, and then I sort of put that bit so it kind of butts up to that top bit. That was my thought. So I'm going to put it upside down so I can see kind of where it's going to go. So I'm going to put the glue down the side here. Pin's been off quite a while. I'm surprised that's flowing. And I'm looking at the time. Going to have to do a little bit of speeding up at different sections of this because I think we've gone over the hour. Yeah. Just like that. So that little sheet can poke down there, and that stops there, and that's my little notebook. So the last thing, well, it isn't really the last thing, because it never is, because I haven't done any decoration. So that's that done, that's that done. Folded it over there. So it was just a little bit there that I put in. Okay, so and yeah, it isn't the last thing because obviously we've got some other decoration to do. So that is going to be our closure. So we want to fit a little pocket in there behind there. Decide which section. Quite like that. That would be a little bit different. Yep. So I haven't got any other sort of offcuts that fit. So I'm going to take that down so it's got the top of the sort of diary section there, and I'm going to do it about 1.25 inches, I think. I think that's a good sort of size. Yeah, liking that. Don't know why I'm rounding the corners, just felt like it. And I'm gonna do some stamping, but I've got this coffee stain and I feel like I want to put it on there before I stick that down. So I'm just gluing the pocket in there, and then gonna make a little tag for it. So I've got a little scrap there, and what I'm making sure is that when the tag is in the pocket and you close the cover, you can't see it. And here I am making a small tab for it. So I'm using a 3/4 circle punch, folding it in half, and then cutting out the corners again with the circle punch. And that's kind of a cheat way of making those lovely little, what people call whale tail tabs. And it looks quite cute. Then I'm making a real tab for the closure bit. So I picked a nice bit of scrap there from the paper. That will look nice there as a little closure. So just sticking it down on the centre, and that fully covers then what's on that first page. So now I'm going to decorate the rest of it. So I've got lots and lots of Tracy labels, a few RTMAs, bits and bobs, and so I'm just sort of combining it with scraps from the paper and stamping as well to finish off all the pocket fronts and the tags, well, the journaling cards, using Tim Holtz etc. there, and a couple of Stampin' Up stamps, the coffee stain and the ledger are Stampin' Up. And so I'm just showing you there the sorts of things that I'll do, but I will finish the rest off camera and show you the results. Okay, so I have been through, and obviously I've decorated the cover there. I just did a bit of stamping there on the back. We've decorated there. I put a little bit of decoration on there, added a bit of stamping, done these pockets, did a bit of a cluster there. I just added a stamp. That's a genuine excuse me, stamp. Oh, suddenly got the sneezes. Just typical. Yeah, I didn't add anything to that because I just like that typewriter. So just a little bit of stamping on those cards and then adding your little clusters. So that's it, apart from the closure. I didn't want to do the closure earlier because I just stuck that and it was wet. So I'm just going to do a little eyelet closure. So I eyeballed that for the middle, and I do believe I slipped as I did it, but hey ho. one of my eyelets. And that. So I'm hoping this hasn't been too long. It might be just a video that's going to just stay a little bit long, because some projects just take that little bit of extra time. So I hope you will stick with me. And then I just did a bit of ribbon. So I've got here some, it's a bit like seam binding, but not quite. I got it from Chat Shop. So I kind of think, right, that's going to get knotted around there. That'll come there. That'll come there. We'll tie in a bow. That's about right. That's as much as my measure. That's how I do it. So there we go. And it's a bit clean. So we don't want clean. We want it a little bit grungy. So I just get me ink filled dauber. And I just run it along the ribbon just to grunge it a little bit. We'll just find the centre, poke it through the hole with difficulty. Where's my... There it is. It was hiding. It were there where it was supposed to be. Just couldn't see it. There we go. Pull the rest of it through that loop-de-loop. And there we are. Could use seam binding. I did look at my seam binding. Not my seam binding. My sari silk. That was something else we could use. So wind that round there like so. Wind that back there like so. And then just tie a wee bow. There we are. Push it up a little bit. And there's you done. There's that one. And there's this one. I think I did this one to go around twice. Maybe you did, Jess. Oh well. This one. No, maybe I didn't. I don't know. But that's a rubbish bow. I'll tie it better for the photos. There we go. That is my Tim Holtz One Sheet Wonder Folio. And I used 2 sheets. So it's a 2-sheet wonder, really. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Hope the person who gets this likes it. And I better get on. I've got loads to do and I've got to leave in the morning. So see you all again very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe.